From its humble beginnings on the NES, and even to the tremendous effort on the Super Nintendo, yes, the Legend of Zelda games have all been great. So here we are. It's now the 25th episode of the Ethos video review series. And we've talked a lot about a lot of great games out there. For the most part, it's been good games, and a couple of bad games sprinkled in. But we've focused on the good, and we're going to do that here again today. But for the 25th episode, we're going to talk about one of the greatest video games of all time, and one of the most influential, and that is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Now, a lot of Zelda games have come and gone over the past 23, 24 years now, and none have been better than Ocarina of Time. And this game came out in 1998 for the Nintendo 64, and it ushered in the Legend of Zelda franchise into the 3D era, much like Mario 64 did for the Super Mario franchise. So we're going to take a look back at one of the greatest games ever made, and we'll see why this is such a profound video game. Let's begin. Ocarina of Time had some really incredible graphics for the day, and very, very lively environments as you see here, and had day-to-night transitions, and a humongous world of Hyrule to explore. For about half the game you play as young Link, and you transition to older Link later. I always preferred playing as older Link. Ocarina of Time had some memorable set pieces as well, like the ominous horror of Ganon's castle. Also, if you go back and play Ocarina of Time, you will see so many different things that you would not have remembered after all these years. It really is a humongous world. As you can see here, Link is left-handed. He was not left-handed in the Wii version of Twilight Princess. And he always was left-handed, actually. In any case, this game had some tremendous gameplay, and some awesome weapons like the Master Sword you see here. Also, let's hear it for the bow and arrow. And the very awesome hook shot, which was very useful in the Water Temple. And I used to love the magic sword as well. But here is Z targeting, such a simple and well-implemented gameplay mechanic. Yes, Ocarina of Time was indeed a masterpiece from beginning to end. What a great game. But here was its direct sequel, The Majora's Mask in 2000. It was an oddball of the series, considered the black sheep, but it was a great game regardless. So 12 years later, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is still a blast today. I mean, it essentially is a timeless classic. After all these years, it is still just as fun and just as playable. And there's such a great Zelda culture associated with this game. From all the great locations and the dungeons, to all the great bosses and different weapons, and the pitch-perfect gameplay that we saw with the Z targeting is a perfect example, as I mentioned. Ocarina of Time really is a stellar masterpiece from beginning to end. And you know, you could argue that the graphics look a little dusty, but, you know, that's comparing it to today, and today's standards are very high, as graphics have come an extremely long way from 1998. But considering how old the game is, you know, it actually looks pretty darn good. A lot of 3D games of that era didn't really survive in terms of their visuals, but Ocarina of Time, it did hold up, I would say. So with all that being said, if you haven't played Ocarina of Time at this point, you really should. It's available on the Wii's Virtual Console, and the graphics are actually cleaned up a little bit since they're on Wii. But if you could hunt down an old cartridge of it, it's definitely worth your time, as it is considered one of the greatest games of all time. So, I want to take a moment to thank you all for watching our videos. This is, as I mentioned, our 25th Ethos video review. So I hope to do another 25 more, or even more beyond that, who knows. But we'll see what happens. So until next time, please visit our website, ethosreviews.angelfire.com, for all the newest written reviews and updates on our website for anything else. So I appreciate you all watching, thank you very much, and before I go, I think you know what we're going to talk about next. Alright, thanks again.